On April 24, 2026, 7 Aam Aadmi Party MPs in Rajya Sabha walked into a press conference and announced that they are merging with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann is now seeking time with the President of India. AAP says it will file disqualification petitions. The BJP says the merger is constitutionally valid. So today we ask one simple question: is what just happened actually legal under the 10th schedule of the Constitution? To answer that, we have to go back to 1967 to a man named Gaya Lal. The year is 1967. In Hasanpur, a constituency in Haryana, there is an MLA named Gaya Lal. In a single afternoon, Gaya Lal switches political parties 3 times. He's in the Congress in the morning, joins the United Front by the lunch, comes back to the Congress and switches again before the sundown. The legend goes that when he last walked into the Congress office, the leader Rao Birendra Singh paraded him in front of journalists and declared, "Gaya Ram is now Aaya Ram." The phrase Aaya Ram Gaya Ram became the shorthand for an entire political disease that crippled India through the late 1960s, 70s and also the 80s. Here what was happening was that a government would be sworn in by Monday, and by Wednesday 10 or 15 MLAs would resign from the ruling party and join the opposition because they had been promised a ministerial berth, a cabinet expansion and sometimes simply cash. And by Friday, the government would fall. The next government would be sworn in and the cycle would repeat. Between 1967 and 1971 alone, roughly half of the legislators who switched parties in India were rewarded with ministerial positions. Governments in Haryana, Bihar, UP, MP collapsed and reformed within weeks after another. And this was not a democracy. This was a marketplace and there was no law to stop it. No clause in the constitution prevented an MP or MLA from walking across the aisle the day after being elected. In 1985, the Rajiv Gandhi government brought the 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act, which inserted the 10th schedule in the Constitution. It came into force on 1st March 1985. The 10th schedule introduced the concept of disqualification for defection. If a member voluntarily gave up membership of a party on whose ticket they were elected, or if they voted against the party whip, they could be disqualified by the presiding officer of the House, the Speaker in the Lok Sabha and State Assemblies, and the Chairman in the Rajya Sabha. But the original 1985 version had 2 escape routes built in. The first was the split provision. If 1/3 or more of a legislative party broke away as a group, these members would not be disqualified. They would function as a separate group inside the House. The second was the merger provision, which means if a political party as an organization merged with another party and 2/3 of the legislative party members agreed, the merger was protected from disqualification. The split provision became the loophole that swallowed the law, and here is how it was abused. And pay close attention because the same template is being used today. Suppose a party has 30 MLAs, 10 members defect, a disqualification petition is filed before the Speaker. The Speaker, who usually belongs to the ruling party, simply does not decide the petition. Months pass and the 5 more members defect. The petition is still pending. Eventually, the breakaway group claims that it has crossed 1/3 threshold, 10 out of 30, and only at that point the Speaker ruled conveniently in their favor. The defection was happening in installments, but the protection was being claimed retroactively as a single split. The most infamous demonstration of how broken the law had become was the 2003 Goa episode, where the Congress government collapsed because of its own MLA split and joined the BJP, and the Speaker's role in shielding them became a national scandal. Within months, Parliament moved to plug the hole. The 91st Constitutional Amendment Act of 2003 deleted the split provision entirely from the 10th schedule. After 2003, you cannot defect as a group of 1/3. That option is gone, wiped from the constitution. After 2003, only one route survives in the 10th schedule for legislators to leave their party without facing disqualification, and that route is paragraph 4, the merger provision. And the constitution is extraordinarily specific about how it works. The constitution lays down a 2-step sequence, and the order matters. Reverse the order and the merger is invalid. Step 1, original political party, meaning the party as an organization outside the legislature, must itself merge with the another political party. AAP, the organization, the registered political party, must pass a formal resolution to merge with the BJP, or AAP and BJP together must resolve to dissolve themselves and form a third new party. This is an organizational decision taken by the party leadership, the national executive, the working committee, whatever the party constitution prescribes. And the step 2, only after that organizational merger has occurred, the members of parliament belonging to the merged party can give effect to the merger inside the house, provided not less than 2/3 of them agree. The constitutional text in paragraph 4 subclause 2 uses the formulation that the merger of the original political party shall be deemed to have taken place if and only if 2/3 of the legislators have agreed to it after the organizational merger has happened. Read that again, if and only if. The 2/3 threshold of the legislators is not a substitute for organizational merger. It is a condition that operates only after the organizational merger. So you just cannot have 7 MPs in the room declaring that they constitute a merger. The party they belong to must first have decided to merge. This is exactly what is missing in the AAP Rajya Sabha episode of April 26. AAP as an organization headed by Arvind Kejriwal has passed no resolution to merge with the BJP. The party has not dissolved itself. The national executive has not approved any merger. And what we have is 7 individual legislators, each voluntarily giving up their membership of AAP, signing a letter and submitting it to the Rajya Sabha chairperson. Under paragraph 2 of the 10th schedule, voluntarily giving up the membership of one's political party is itself a ground for disqualification. The 2/3 figure in paragraph 4 does not protect them because paragraph 4 applies only when the organizational merger condition is satisfied. And this is what the AAP has argued in the disqualification petition. This is what Bhagwant Mann is talking to the president. The constitutional text is on their side. But whether the constitutional process will be on their side is a separate question, and this is where understanding Maharashtra becomes essential. In June 2022, the Maharashtra government, led by the Uddhav Thackeray, head of the Shiv Sena and the chief minister of the Maha Vikas Aghadi, alliance with the NCP and Congress, faced an internal rebellion. Eknath Shinde, the leader of the Shiv Sena legislative party, disappeared from Mumbai with a group of MLAs, and they went first to the Surat in Gujarat and then to Guwahati in Assam. By the end of June, Shinde claimed the support of 40 plus MLAs out of the Shiv Sena's 56. Here is where it gets interesting and where the Maharashtra case becomes the most important precedent for understanding what is happening in Delhi today. Shinde did not claim to be defecting. He did not claim to be merging with the Shiv Sena, with the BJP. Rather, he made a much more audacious argument. He claimed that his faction was the real Shiv Sena, the original political party. Uddhav Thackeray sitting in Mumbai with the party's name and symbol and most of the organizational machinery was, according to Shinde, the breakaway faction. Both sides went to the Speaker, the Election Commission and the Supreme Court claiming to represent the original political party. What happened next is a classic. Disqualification petitions filed by the Thackeray faction. Deputy Speaker, acting in place of the vacant Speaker post, issued notices against 16 faction MLAs. Shinde faction MLAs, 16 of them. On the same day, the Shinde faction served a removal motion against the speaker himself, invoking the Supreme Court's 2016 Nabam Rabia ruling that a speaker cannot decide disqualification petition while a motion for his own removal is pending. The proceedings froze within hours. Governor ordered a floor test before disqualification could be decided. Governor called a floor test against Thackeray. The Supreme Court declined to stay it. Thackeray resigned the night before facing the test. Shinde was sworn in as the chief minister. He took oath with the BJP support and Devendra Fadnavis as his deputy, while disqualification petition against the new cabinet sat pending. A new speaker from the ruling side took the charge. The assembly elected Rahul Narvekar of the BJP as the speaker. The disqualification petitions were now transferred to the speaker belonging to the very party that had helped form the Shinde government. ECI ruled that the Shinde faction was the real Shiv Sena and gave the bow and arrow symbol. Uddhav Thakeray's faction was renamed as Shiv Sena UBT. The Supreme Court delivered its judgment in Subhash Desai was his principal secretary governor of Maharashtra. A 5-judge constitution bench led by the Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud delivered findings that should have been devastating for the Shinde faction. The court held that a governor had no objective material to call for the floor test. Also, legislative majority cannot be the test for determining the original political party. Hence, Shinde faction were not the original political party, but the court refused to restore Uddhav Thakeray's government because Thackeray had resigned voluntarily without facing the floor test. The court referred the question of speaker's power during a removal notice to a larger 7-judge bench where it remains pending. The speaker finally decided the disqualification petitions. He dismissed them. He held that the Shinde faction was the real Shiv Sena because it had legislative majority. The Supreme Court, hearing the challenge later that year, openly questioned whether speaker's reasoning contradicted the Subhash Desai judgment, since Subhash Desai had explicitly said that legislative majority cannot be the test for determining the original political party. The challenge is still pending. The Shinde government completed its term. The Mahayuti alliance won the 2024 Maharashtra elections handsomely. The disqualification is now legally moot in any practical sense. This is the playbook: delay, defer, refer, complete the term, and render the question academic. In the United Kingdom, when a member of parliament is elected as the Speaker of the House of Commons, they resign from their political party. They contest subsequent elections as Speaker rather than as party candidate. The convention is so strong that the major parties do not field candidates against a sitting Speaker. The Speaker is institutionally and politically detached from the party that put them in the chair. In India, no such convention exists. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha, the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, who is also the Vice President of the India, and almost always a senior political appointee of the ruling party and the Speaker of the state assemblies all retain their political affiliations. They campaign for their party, they attend party meetings, they are politicians who have been given a constitutional gavel. And the 10th schedule asks these politically affiliated officers to act as a quasi-judicial tribunal deciding disqualification petitions filed against members of their own party or its allies. The Supreme Court itself has repeatedly recognized this conflict. In Quixoto Hulhan case in 1992, the court upheld the 10th schedule but also held that a speaker's decisions are subject to judicial review. In Kesham Meghchandra Singh versus Honorable Speaker Manipur in January 2020, a bench led by Justice Rohinton Nariman held that the speaker should ordinarily decide disqualification petition within 3 months. The judgment recommended that Parliament consider replacing the Speaker as the adjudicating authority under the 10th schedule with an independent permanent tribunal headed by a retired Supreme Court judge or a retired Chief Justice of a High Court. In Subhash Desai in 2023, the Constitution Bench reaffirmed concerns about the Speaker's role. None of these recommendations have been implemented. Parliament has not amended the 10th schedule. The Speaker and the Chairman continue to wear two hats, and the time taken to decide disqualification petition continues to stretch from months into years, conveniently outlasting the political problem the petitions were meant to solve. Now we come back to where we started. Why is the April 26 AAP defection happening, and why is it likely to succeed despite being on the constitutional text plainly invalid? Now here is the sequence you can expect, and you can also mark this down. The 7 AAP MPs have submitted their merger letter to the Rajya Sabha chairman, the Vice President of India. AAP has filed disqualification petition. Punjab CM has sought a meeting with the President. The chairman will accept the letters. He will not immediately notify the merger, and he will not immediately decide the disqualification petition. Both will sit on his desk. AAP will approach the High Court or the Supreme Court asking for a direction to the chairman to decide the petition within a fixed time. The court, following its own precedent, will say that chairman must be given reasonable time to decide and will not fix a deadline. The court will defer to the constitutional authority of the chairman, and months will pass. The political movement will cool, media attention will move on. Eventually, the chairman will decide, given that the 7 members claim to cross the 2/3 threshold of the legislative party, and given the BJP and its allies control the Rajya Sabha, the chairman is highly likely to accept the merger as valid, treating the 2/3 figure as sufficient and not insisting on the prior organizational merger. This is the same logical move that Speaker Narvekar made in Maharashtra, conflating the legislature party with the political party. AAP will challenge it in the High Court and then in the Supreme Court. The case will sit there for 2-3 years. By that time, the Rajya Sabha terms of these members will be approaching their natural end. The disqualification question will again become academic. The constitutional law on paper says that AAP merger is invalid because the political party AAP has not merged with the political party BJP. The constitutional process in practice will deliver an outcome where 7 MPs successfully cross the floor. The NDA's Rajya Sabha numbers move closer to the 2/3, and the voters in Punjab who elected these 7 members through their MLAs have no remedy. The 10th schedule was designed to give voters the assurance the people they elected would remain accountable to the party platform on which they were elected. When a party can be hollowed out from inside the legislature without ever having to merge as an organization, when the presiding officer who must decide is a political appointee of the receiving party, when courts defer to the presiding officer, and when the entire process can be stretched beyond the term of the very members in the question, the assurance becomes a piece of paper. The remedy that constitutional scholars, retired judges, and the Law Commission has repeatedly proposed is straightforward. Take the adjudicatory function under the 10th schedule away from the Speaker and the Chairman and give it to an independent tribunal, perhaps headed by a retired Supreme Court judge, perhaps to the Election Commission, with a constitutionally fixed timeline for decisions. Until that reform happens, every defection of this kind will follow the same pattern. Maharashtra was the demonstration, the AAP Rajya Sabha episode is the repeat performance, and the next one is already being planned somewhere.